I am an executive coach, and I really came to podcast guesting through a series. I'll explain the story of what happened in my little head. I actually have a full practice. So I'm a busy coach. I do a lot of strategy work. I do trusted advisory work and coaching work. And at the end of last year, I was looking at my kind of marketing and thinking about what am I doing? I've got a pretty good LinkedIn game, and I've got a full practice. Like, what's next for me? How do I create something? How do I create assets? How do I expand my like audiences? And everybody has said to me, you should create a podcast, Jonathan. And privately, here's what the little voice in my head said: the last thing the world needs is another podcast. And I'm sure that's not really true, but that's what was going on in my head. And so I thought, no, I don't want to do that. That seems like a lot of work. And P.S., I'm already really busy. But I do like it when occasionally I'm invited to be on a podcast. I mean, it makes you feel fancy, right? And so it would happen from time to time, without me really kind of doing much. Once or twice a year, I'd get invited on something, and I always enjoyed it. And so I thought, oh, like that could be a thing. There must be somebody out there somewhere that does this, that books you. There must be an agency. So I actually kind of actively started researching and looking. And so when I came across Interview Connections, I was really impressed with the structure and how they run their business. And I was right where you are right now. I sat in on a bunch of these. I thought long and hard about it. And the reason why I went ahead was maybe a different reason than a lot of folks. I imagine there are some folks that are looking for direct ROI on it. Like, I'm going to spend this money, I'm going to get on the thing, and sales are going to happen. I did not come at this with that expectation or even, frankly, need. I was really looking at it as a brand positioning and a very top of funnel activity for me to do. What I've learned, and all of that has come true. So I can absolutely say I'm 7 or 8 months into this now. They are everything they say they are. They absolutely execute on everything they say they're going to do. The tracking is amazing. The pitching all happens off screen. I don't have to face whatever rejections occur. I don't even know about them. I love that. That's great for my ego that I'm not getting either ignored, ghosted, or turned down. I don't want to know about that. I just get every week or two, oh, Jonathan, meet so-and-so, you're going to be on their podcast. And I go, great. And so it's a very lovely experience. If you're a busy professional and you're doing stuff and you just want to keep it going, and you know that you need to keep active and do lots of good forward-looking business development. So all of that has been absolutely smooth. Some of the wins that have come from me, so I was recently on about, it just dropped last week or week before last, a podcast, an HR podcast. So I'm a management consultant kind of background. I'm a generalist. I sit on boards. I coach CEOs and founders, executives, that kind of thing. So I'm on this HR podcast, and it's in the UK. And I have a pre-call, and I click on it ahead of time, and I'm like, oh my God, these guys are like really popular. Like, it's a big podcast with a big audience. And I was like, oh, okay. So he has me on, and he says, listen, normally what we do is we do an interview, and we have a couple of different formats. And for most people, we grab the best parts of your like story, and we'll use it on a kind of in a composite way with other people. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, cool, I'm up for whatever. So I told like Interview Connections this, and John's like, nah, that's a bonus. You go take that one. We won't count that because, like, we're here. You're the main guest. That's what you signed up for. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Like, I'm happy to do it. So I have a good day out. I'm like my A game. Brought my A game that day. I don't know why. Maybe it's because it was in the UK and it was fancy. So I did a really nice job. I get to the end of it, and the guy's like, oh, we're totally using this. This is an episode. So I like felt really good about that. Their reach was like quite spectacular. Like the traffic that came back and questions and lots of social media reposting. They're also like, they were just a really slick stuff. They gave me all the clips they already made all the social media clips. And so it just makes the sharing and the repurposing super easy. And increasingly, I'm seeing more and more of that happen now, where the host is actually doing a lot of that work. So, just to sort of summarize, I'm just so delighted to be here and to speak as a satisfied current client. It's been everything that I've hoped for. I keep a running tally of all my podcasts on my website. Clients that are inbound to me are routinely saying to me, "Oh, I checked you out and I listened to a couple of the podcasts and it was really helpful and that helped me make my decision." So it's creating sort of positioning me as an expert, as somebody that's knowledgeable in the space. All of that, third party testimonial type stuff is just excellent for shoring up purchasing decisions when you've got inbound clients. So that's really great. And then, of course, just the joint venture marketing aspect of podcasting is excellent. I'm sharing my network with them. I have a good following on LinkedIn, and they're sharing theirs with me. And so we're just cross-pollinating, and you're doing it in a very intentional way when you sign up with Interview Connections.